The day my parents told me not to come home was the day I realized blood doesn't always mean family. I was 17 when it happened. Not during a fight, not after a mistake, but on an ordinary evening that changed my life forever. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, packing my bag for college break. I hadn't been home in months. I missed my mother's cooking, my father's quiet presence, and even the small arguments that made our house feel alive. I smiled while dialing my father's number, already imagining the moment I'd walk through the front door. But the voice on the other end wasn't warm. It was tense. "Don't come home," my father said. I laughed at first, thinking he was joking. "Dad, what do you mean?" There was a pause, a long one. "Your sister doesn't want you here." Those words didn't make sense. My younger sister and I had grown up together. We shared secrets, fought over silly things, and protected each other from the world. Or at least that's what I believed. "Why?" I asked, my voice shaking. My mother took the phone. Her tone was cold, unfamiliar. "It's better this way. Please don't come." No explanation, no comfort, just rejection. The call ended. I sat there, staring at my phone, feeling something inside me crack. I replayed the conversation again and again, trying to find logic in it. Had I done something wrong? Had I said something? Hurt someone without knowing? Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. No calls, no messages, no birthdays, no holidays. I stopped trying. College became my escape. I worked nights, studied during the day, and taught myself how to survive without asking for help. Every achievement felt hollow without someone to share it with. Every failure felt heavier because I carried it alone. Sometimes late at night, I wondered what story my family was telling without me. Was I the villain now? The problem child? The one they erased? Years passed. I grew older, stronger, quieter. But one thing never left me. The unanswered question. Why didn't my parents fight for me? And why did my sister, the person I trusted the most, decide I didn't belong? When your family disappears from your life without an explanation, you don't just lose people. You lose a part of yourself. After that phone call, silence became my new normal. At first, I waited. Every unknown number made my heart race. Every holiday felt like a test of patience. But the calls never came. I graduated college alone. No proud parents in the audience. No sister cheering from the back row. Just an empty seat where my family should have been. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself I was strong enough. But strength learned through abandonment comes at a price. I rented a small apartment and worked 2 jobs. Life became a routine of survival. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat. I avoided friendships that went too deep, afraid that one day they'd disappear just like my family did. At night, memories attacked me. My mother brushing my hair before school. My father teaching me how to ride a bike. My sister holding my hand during thunderstorms. None of it matched the people who had shut me out. I sent messages on birthdays. No replies. I sent one last email after my first promotion. Still nothing. That was the moment I stopped reaching out. Years went by. I built a career in silence. I learned how to smile without feeling. People called me independent, focused, strong. They had no idea that independence was never my choice. Sometimes I imagined running into my sister on the street. Would she recognize me? Would she look away? Or would she finally explain why I wasn't wanted? I never got the chance. Instead, life surprised me in another way. I met her. She was kind, patient, the first person who didn't try to fix me. She simply stayed. When I finally told her about my family, she didn't ask why they left. She asked how it made me feel, and for the first time in years, I cried. We built a life together, slowly, carefully, honestly. She became my family long before she became my fiancé. When I proposed, I hesitated before sending wedding invitations. I didn't want to reopen old wounds. But my fiancé believed in closure. "Invite them," she said softly. "Not for them. For you." So I did. I sent one simple invitation to the address I still remembered by heart. Weeks passed. Then one evening my phone buzzed. A message from a number I hadn't seen in years. "We will come." No apology. No explanation. Just 4 words. My hand shook. I didn't know whether to feel relief or fear, because deep down, I sensed the truth had been hidden for too long. And something told me the wedding wouldn't be about love. Some people wait for weddings to celebrate love. I waited to face the people who once erased me. The morning of my wedding felt unreal. Sunlight poured through the windows. Laughter echoed in the room, and yet my chest felt tight. My friends joked around me, adjusting my suit, teasing me about married life. They had no idea Storm was quietly walking toward me. Then I saw them. My parents stood near the entrance, older, quieter, almost unfamiliar. Time had changed their faces, but not the weight they carried. My father avoided my eyes. My mother forced a smile that didn't reach her soul. And then there was my sister. She wouldn't look at me. Her hands trembled as she held her purse. She stayed close to my parents, like a child hiding behind a shield. This wasn't the sister I remembered. Confident, fearless, outspoken. Something was wrong. When our eyes finally met, her face went pale. She looked like someone who had seen a ghost. I wanted to walk up to them. I wanted answers. But the music started, and the ceremony began. I stood at the altar, holding the hand of the woman who never abandoned me, while my past sat silently in the front row. During the vows, I caught my mother wiping tears. My father stared at the floor. My sister didn't cry. She didn't smile. She just stared at me, frozen. At the reception, guests laughed, danced, and celebrated. My parents stayed in a corner. I approached them, heart pounding. "I'm glad you came," I said. My father nodded. My mother whispered, "You look happy." My sister remained silent. I finally asked the question that had haunted me for years. Why? The word hung in the air like a blade. No one answered. Then my sister spoke, barely above a whisper. "Not here." Her eyes filled with fear, not anger. That scared me more than the silence ever did. Later that night, as guests danced under warm lights, my sister pulled me aside near the empty hallway behind the banquet room. Her hands were shaking. "I didn't want this," she said. I felt my heart stop. "Didn't want what?" I asked. She swallowed hard. "The lie." Before I could ask more, my mother rushed toward us, panic written across her face. "Stop," she said sharply to my sister. "This is not the time." That's when I knew. This wasn't about a fight. This wasn't about jealousy. This was about a secret so heavy my family chose to erase me instead of facing it. And now, on the happiest day of my life, the truth was fighting its way out. Some families don't break because of hatred. They break because the truth threatens to destroy everything. The hallway felt colder than the celebration behind us. Music echoed faintly through the walls, but here, time stood still. My sister's eyes were red. My mother stood between us, trembling. My father arrived moments later, his face heavy with regret. "Tell him," my sister whispered. My mother shook her head. "He doesn't need to know." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it hurt too much. "I lost my family for years," I said. "I think I deserve the truth." Silence. Then my sister finally spoke. "When we were younger," she began, her voice breaking, "I made a mistake. A terrible one." My heart pounded. There was money missing from Dad's business. A lot of it. I panicked. My father closed his eyes. I told them, "It was you." The words hit me like a punch. "I said you were angry, that you wanted revenge, that you threatened me." I staggered back. "They believed her," my sister continued, tears streaming. "Not because they hated you, but because it was easier." My mother broke down. "If the truth came out," she sobbed, "our family would have been destroyed. Your father could have lost everything. Your sister would have faced prison. So you erased me?" I asked quietly. My father finally looked at me. "We thought distance would protect everyone," he said. "We thought you'd move on." I felt numb. All those years, all that loneliness, all that pain, because telling the truth was inconvenient. I wanted to confess, my sister cried, but every year that passed, it became harder. When you stopped calling, I thought maybe it was too late. I looked at her, the sister I once protected, now someone I barely recognized. "You let me suffer," I said, "and you let me believe I was unlovable." She fell to her knees. "I'm sorry." The word echoed, hollow and late. Behind us, laughter from the reception continued. My wife stood at the doorway, eyes filled with concern but trust. She didn't interrupt. She knew this was my moment. I realized something then. The truth didn't need revenge. It needed a choice. I could carry this anger forever, or I could end the cycle. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting the pain. It's about refusing to let the pain control your future. I stood there, staring at the people who were supposed to protect me. My parents looked broken. My sister was on the floor, crying like the child I once knew. For years, I imagined this moment. I imagined shouting. I imagined walking away forever. I imagined making them feel the pain they gave me. But none of that felt right anymore. "I won't expose you," I said quietly. They looked up in shock. Not because you don't deserve consequences, I continued, but because I refuse to let your mistakes define who I am. My sister sobbed harder. But understand this, I added, my voice firm. Forgiveness does not mean access. My parents nodded, tears falling freely. You lost the right to be part of my everyday life, I said. You lost years you can never get back. I turned toward the doorway where my wife stood waiting, my real family. This, I said, is where I belong now. At the reception, I danced, laughed, and celebrated. My parents left early. My sister didn't say goodbye. Some stories don't end with hugs and happy photos, and that's okay. Weeks later, my sister sent a long letter. She admitted everything. No excuses, no blame. She said she was in therapy. She said she didn't expect forgiveness, only accountability. I replied with one sentence. I hope you become someone who never needs to hide the truth again. As for my parents, I keep my distance, not out of hatred, but out of self-respect. Healing doesn't always mean reconciliation. Now, when I look back at that phone call, don't come home, I no longer hear rejection. I hear fear, fear of truth, fear of consequences, fear of losing control, and I'm grateful they pushed me away. Because being rejected taught me how to build a life where love isn't conditional,